seconds away now as they are set to hoist the Stanley Cup.
Number one has got to be the Stanley Cup Celebrations. Look, I know they changed it up a little bit from NHL 19, but at this point, winning the cup is just almost tedious because we've had the same template of celebrations for years, and it's boring, it's long, and it's randomized. Like, you don't even get to pick the players that lift it first. Like, if you have a favorite player, you might not even get to see him lift the cup. And I know NBA doesn't do this great, but it's a lot better than NHL, where you can have a championship parade, there's like a ring ceremony, banner raising. Like, this is bare minimum stuff that NHL needs to have so that it feels like when you win the cup, it's a reward. It's not tedious and like, oh, well, you know, that's just another thing. Like, maybe interactive Stanley Cup celebrations would be a good idea, because then you can control which players you want to lift the cup, and you can just make them skate around the ice with it, do a lap with the cup. Like, that's not hard to do at all. They can totally implement interactive Stanley Cup celebrations and make it feel like an actual reward, like you won one of the hardest trophies to win in sports. Like, make it not tedious and actually fun to win and rewarding. Number two is a personal one, and I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about it, but warm-ups. Now, I know this could get really annoying and tedious after a while, but that's why you should have the option to turn it off. And then, if you turn it off, you can have it just like all the old NHL games. But for us fans who want a more realistic, immersive experience, I feel like warm-ups, and maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but controllable warm-ups, playable warm-ups, not sure that's going to happen, but even if it's just regular warm-ups, it would make us feel like it's a real hockey game more than it does, because right now it's just kind of going through the motions every single time, and we know it's a game, and it gets kind of boring and repetitive. We don't want it to be repetitive. It's not too much to ask for them to switch it up and actually put some effort into this type of stuff. Number three, you're going to hear it in every single NHL wishlist video, so I'm only going to spend a few seconds on it, but it's GM connected. Obviously, everyone's been wanting that forever, ever since they took it out in NHL 15. Me personally, me and my friends spent a bunch of awesome fun time in GM connected, so just having it back would be incredible. And maybe if they can expand on it like NBA has once again, with their online My League, I think that would be awesome. And again, immersive and more fun. And to that, also roster sharing would be great. Like, for example, imagine if you could have the 2010-11 full NHL roster and play a GM connected mode with that, with your friends, with a 22-year-old, 23-year-old Patrick Kane. That would be amazing, and I would love that. You bring back guys like Jarome Iginla, some old players. I think that would be awesome. Number four is a cool one that I thought about. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. A more realistic net. Now, if any of you have ever played NHL 2K10, you know that the net in that game, when you hit the twine with a shot, it feels realistic. And that's what I want. I just want the game to feel like I'm playing a real-life hockey game. And right now, the net, whenever you hit it, it's like hitting a brick wall. It really feels just like a basic, boring wall that you hit every time you hit the net. I want it to shake and have realistic physics like a real twine. If they can do that with pucks, like the way the puck goes on the ice, then why can't they do it with the net? I want it to just, again, be rewarding and awesome when I score a goal. Like, wow, that was really pretty the way it went into the net. And I know that's really hockey nerd type stuff, but a realistic net, I think, would make the experience more immersive and enjoyable. Next up would be an improvement to the draft and draft lottery. Now, in some other games, there's an actual process to this stuff. In NHL, it's literally just a randomized thing, and it tells you, oh, Detroit won first overall. Yay. This is a real awesome thing to win it. So if they could have any type of animation or cool cutscene process for the draft lottery, because when you win that thing, it's a big deal. Imagine you win the draft lottery and you get the next Connor McDavid. You don't want it to just be a brushed over little process. You want to feel rewarded, like, whoa, I won the draft lottery. So having something like that would be great. And also, the draft at this point is just kind of boring. And I know they're making minute improvements every year to make it a little bit more fun, but they really need to do a better job of this. Maybe have a cutscene. I know it's going to be tough with the player faces and stuff, but at least first overall should have a cutscene or an interview, or like a post-draft interview with the player, how he's excited to go play for the Minnesota Wild or whatever. Something to just make it more enjoyable to experience the draft and the draft lottery. Because I think that right now, as it is, it's really mundane and boring, quite frankly. And again, unrewarding. I would really like to see the return of outdoor games. Now, I know we had this in some older games. I believe NHL 11, 12, and maybe 13. So for them to bring this back on the next-gen consoles with better graphics, I think would just be awesome. And frankly, it's kind of lazy that they took it out and haven't brought it back, because it could be really cool. And if they could add meaning to these, like, oh, Calgary and Winnipeg won the Heritage Classic in a random draw, so new teams could play in specific outdoor games every year. That would be great. And maybe outdoor games could increase revenue, and in Be a Pro, maybe you can go play an outdoor game or two and customize your toque. I mean, they do it with the NHL 1s and 3s and stuff, so why can't they just incorporate those kind of outdoor rinks on a bigger scale, larger scale, with pro teams? I think that would be great. I know they can't get licensing really for large NFL stadiums, MLB stadiums, but they can still use just generic large stadiums, and it would be awesome. You could maybe you could customize your own outdoor rink. How cool would that be? I think that would be sick, and it's a really low effort thing for them to add that they've already had in previous gen consoles, so it's not a lot to ask. I touched on this in the previous points, but roster sharing and bringing back previous rosters, I think that would be really cool. Once again, maybe you get to play as a rookie Patrick Kane, or a rookie Connor McDavid, whatever you want to do. But instead of just importing that one player to the 2021 roster, 2021 season, you can actually play the season where Patrick Kane was a rookie and Jarome Iginla was still in the game, or, where Sidney Crosby was a rookie. Imagine you could go back and play Ovechkin versus Crosby in their rookie seasons. How cool would that be? I think that would just, for us hockey nerds, us hockey fans, we would really enjoy that, especially those of us who have like glory days for the game. Like, I know I was huge into it back in the early 2000s. I loved those teams. So bringing that back could be cool. I know it's a lot to ask if you go back to the 90s and the 80s when it was Gretzky and Lemieux and Yager, but even just bringing it back to the early 2010s, early 2000s, that's a fair ask. I mean, they can do that. Next up would be a franchise mode overhaul. Franchise mode, honestly, there's the one area where they've actually been doing a good job improving it significantly every season. You think of Fog of War and player morale, things like that they've added over the years that have made it more fun, but I want them to keep expanding on that, especially on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. There's no excuses why they can't overhaul franchise mode and really make it more, I've used this word 1,000 times, but immersive. That's the key here, realism and immersiveness, to really make us feel like we're actually the general manager of a professional hockey team. That's the goal here. So I really want them to add a bunch of different things. And you guys also put this down in the comments below. What specific franchise mode things do you think they could add to make it more fun, realistic, and immersive? Lastly, I saved this one on purpose for a reason for last. It's a Be a Pro overhaul. We've been asking for this for years, so many years, and they've just kind of left it for dead. And I really think it's time to take a page out of the NBA, My Career mode, or even NFL in the one where you can be a quarterback and make your own guy. Even that's like miles better than the NHL one, and that's also EA, so there's really no reason for them to add it in. I mean, like, you really got to add some bare bones stuff into Be a Pro, like even a bit more cutscenes, some interviews, something to make it more lively, because right now it's so mundane and tedious to play through. Like, I can't even get through a full season of Be a Pro without getting bored, and it's really inexcusable, especially since they're moving to the next-gen consoles soon. There's no reason why they can't at least take a couple pages out of the My Career book to just make it more fun. Add some cutscenes, or even some interviews, a little bit of a story or something to really make it, add some fresh blood into it, because it really needs it, and it's something that we've been asking for forever, because right now Be a Pro is just a dead mode, and it needs an overhaul. Let's be real, guys. That's my number one wish for NHL 21, is that Be a Pro gets some kind of significant improvement. I don't mean something stupid and small. I mean a really big improvement, because it really deserves it, and it has a lot of fans that would reap the benefits of a new Be a Pro. Think of Live the Life in NHL, I think it was 14. They really tried to take some steps with that, but then they went back from that. They backtracked from that. Like, how do you do that? So I really think that they could benefit from this and improve this mode for all of us who really enjoyed it in the earlier NHLs, and really improve on it. That's it for me, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys want and think of these ideas in NHL 21. But more than that, I'm sure you guys are creative. You have some amazing things that you would want to add into this game, and I want to hear them. I'll respond to every single comment about an idea to NHL 21. And that's it for me. I'll see you guys next time.